Welcome to Framework Fortune and welcome back Framework Fortune community. I'm your host Ben and we got our co-host H&H Trader Hal in the house tonight. What's going on, buddy?
Not much, man. Nice day in the market. Big rips, big dips, big dumps.
Yeah, very volatile market today. A lot of different things popping. So it's time for the last rip. Let's dive in and see what happened here today. So we start with the SPY here. Clear downtrend, consolidated, came up and then dropped straight down again. So definitely a lot of volatility, but a lot of selling pressure up at these highs. And we are off of that 10-day. We're way off of the 50-day.
On that SPY in that first 15 minutes, you see that huge dump? That's about the time that we were seeing those dumps pretty much right when we were seeing it in the penny stocks. We're seeing all those crucifixions.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And then it gave a little bull trap there. Thought people, a little double bottom fake out, looked like it was going to try to come back up and then just got slammed again.
I took a couple of stabs at SQBG.
This was a very interesting one because they just filed bankruptcy the day before. So,
yeah.
You can see where it dropped off on the daily chart because of that bankruptcy. And I think it's just a dead cat bounce today. I really don't see this popping all the way back up unless this is some type of Wall Street's bet shenanigans.
Well, this one was another one that was on a lower time frame. The 2-minute was the one to trade off of today. 5-minute just, I was looking at the 5-minute, it just would not look right. So that's why I was taking profit pretty quickly. Usually I trade off of the higher time frames, but when they're not there, you got to come on down.
Yeah,
so the 2-minute,
that's a lot better looking on the 2-minute.
Yeah, so that's what I ended up trading it off of. Got entered multiple times over this. So it ran up and it gave this dip down, right?
Yeah.
Ran up big right there. I still didn't trade it. Came back down. And then it popped up without me right there. And I was like, all right, well, that's too bad. It came down into that consolidation, that green bar. That's where I got in my first one. Got that little rip up.
Very nice.
And then I sold and I waited. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to wait. And then I got back in on this green bar. Go back to the left a little bit. That left, one more green bar right there. So that one started going. I was like, all right, I'm going to wait for this one to do what it's got to do. It dropped down, and I took an entry on inside of this green bar right beside that. So got going up and then faded right there, fell a little bit, and I got back out. I was like, all right, this one's going to be crazy. So I got it gave that little green bar. It came down and dipped on the red bar, and I got back in for another try up. And it came back down again and stopped me out on that next candle. Right and there. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna let it drop a little bit. And I gave that three bar green play right there, 1, 2, 3, right there. And then on that red bar, it came down. I was like, all right, if it holds this bottom, I'm gonna get back in. So I got back in for that 50. I got back in 50 shares here for the rip up to the top. Took before that fall, took right at the top. Actually, this is where I was telling you I took half and let the other I took off 30 shares at the very top and let the other 20 play to the bottom. So once it got to my break even, I just went ahead and stopped out. Just, man, that thing was choppy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was definitely choppy, and it had a lot of resistance ahead of it once it got through this gap pretty much. That's just where it got stopped at. But yeah, nice scalping this thing all the way up. And it actually closed sideways. That's weird. I don't know. This is not one I have to keep an eye on. They filed for bankruptcy.
ABVC is in your other watch list down there. Top 10 gainer. ABVC. Okay. So let me show you the foolishness of this this crazy one.
This thing went straight up, and I didn't want to touch it when I saw this.
So this one was another one that I was very, very interested in. Did I trade this on the 2-minute or the 5-minute? I may have looked for entries on the 2-minute. Yeah.
There's
so
the 5-minute.
okay, yeah, this is what Yeah, this is what I traded it on.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember, but it came up and shot up at first and kind of got a double bottom there on those first two intraday 5-minute candles, the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it came down. I was like, all right, well, I just want to see it consolidate. So it came back up to that top again and failed.
Yeah.
And the second time it made a higher low. So I was interested. It pulled back up on that red candle and I got in. So I got in and it ripped up. I got in 50 shares right there, ripped up. I was like, all right, let's see if it can hold its gains. Ripped clean back down to my entry, stopped me out for a very, very small loss, maybe like a 30-cent loss or something like that.
Yeah, I want to see this on the 1-minute chart to see how drastic this drop was.
It was stupid. It went 75 cents. It came back down.
Yeah, I just want to see the speed of it. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
it left me no time. Like literally that the green bar, the first green bar close to the VWAP, right there, that was my entry. And nice. I was like, all right, this is gonna be cool. It went up. I was like, all right, looks like it's gonna get going. Boy, that explosion came. I was like, all right, we're good. We're in there because it got a volume push as well. And the bar was green at that time. It was a big green bar. So I was like, all right, buyers are coming in. Boy, did those shorts sit down on it.
Yeah, you see those, you said 200 there, right there. That's what held it up.
Mm-hmm.
Because it closed back below that 200. But yeah, that thing did get slammed. Because this is the 1-minute chart. So that all was in 1 minute.
Let me tell you, I was very quick to get out of this one. When I saw that big jab down, even if it would have went back up, it doesn't matter. That kind of weakness, I go ahead and get out.
Yeah, exactly. That's too big of a wick. That always makes me nervous when I see a wick like that.
Well, the other things is look at the pre-market high. Yeah. That was a fail point. It should have at least stopped right there. It came back and tested the 460, 450 level. Yeah, it came straight back through that 50.
Yeah, it should have. Normally, I think that would have happened, but for whatever reason, the selling pressure on this, it didn't test it at all. So I traded BLCM. You guys in your chat were talking trash about this one to me when I was saying how good this looked, that this was a beautiful chart pattern in pre-market. It gave a they had a license. They had good PR. They had a license agreement. That's always a good type of PR that can get some hype in it. There's a medical stock. We've seen some medical stocks run. It's very low float, only 8 million in shares. But I was watching this little triangle right here. This is why I got in there, and that's why I was saying, I can't help it. I got to get in this because it gave back all of its gains from this original rip, but it never dropped below the 200 or the 40.
Yeah. This reminds me of that trade I took pre-market that you were like, oh, that looks nasty, and it popped up. But the only difference is it didn't have those two big candles in pre-market that look like just absolute madness.
No, that's what told me that it was going to rip right there. That it wanted to rip earlier and it couldn't. But whoever was holding it down, they got out of their position all through here. You can see all these selling candles. There's more selling than buying in this triangle, but there was just enough buying to barely keep it up in the triangle. And then right there on this candle, when it dipped, I was like, I got to go. At 345, I got to take this shot. Because I was thinking the lowest it was in pre-market after the rip was 330. So I was like, that's 15 cents. Yeah. I'll risk it. And then it just made a nice move, just climbing up there. I locked 20 out on this candle and then locked 30 out on this one when it started coming back down. A little $21 win there. I was looking for a bigger rip, but it didn't get it. It did.
I knew it wasn't because when it popped out of the gate and it went up, I was looking. We actually watched it. I was like, I wonder how this trade is doing for him. And we watched it move up. It was moving up 10 cents at a time.
Yeah, it was
and with
slow.
that low float, it should have been moving up 40, 50 cents, 60 cents. But that's how I knew something was wrong with it.
But yeah, so then like I said, I jumped in BBIG here. This is a nice little rip. They had some PR that they were mentioned as a potential short squeeze by traders on social media. I didn't even see that when I jumped in there. I never even looked at the PR.
Yeah.
I just like the chart pattern because it opened up, threw a wick down there and then started pushing back up. And then at this point, I was like, this is looking pretty bullish. So I jumped in there 50 shares for that break of 850. And then it locked 10 out there, locked 10 out there, and tried to lock the rest of it out here. You can see I bought and sold after the market was open. For some reason, Thinkorswim reset my TIF to GTC EXT, where I'd bought pre-market on BLCM. So I was like trying to figure it out. I was rejecting my sell, saying, no, this is not that time of day. And I did it a couple of times like a caveman, just hit the sell button, like, work. And then I'll open it up and realize, like, okay, the TIF's not even on. The auto send wasn't on either. That was the crazy thing. My auto send is always on, so I don't even know why that happened. But yeah, it came back down pretty fast. It made that drop pretty much while I was fumbling with that, and I had a chance to try to get some of the profit back, but up there at like 1087 on this wick, but I was holding to see if it's going to continue to rip, and then it came down and I had to get out once it broke that 950 area. So it was a $56 win.
Where's your VWAP?
The gold bar.
So it was still holding VWAP right there a little bit.
Yeah, that's why I was still holding. I was like, if I can hold VWAP, then it could, swing back up.
Let's see what it looks like on the 15-minute. Oh yeah, that thing had a lot of work to do to get back up on the 15-minute.
Yeah, I don't think I looked at the 15-minute. There was a bunch of other runners. MTRT with a nasty run in the OTC markets. I mean, just nasty. 50 cents up to $5. No PR or anything. This thing was 8 cents a little while ago. Back in March, it was 3 zeros and a penny. This is a crazy move. I don't know anything about it. You were saying the Wall Street apes were talking about it.
Oh yeah, Though it was two of them that they talked about: FCUV and MR, whatever this one is, MRT.
Yeah, MTRT.
Whatever.
Yeah, and FCUV was the other one. This one up 189%, running from $4 to $30 here in after hours. So insane move there. This thing was doing nothing.
It was $4 yesterday.
Yeah. It was massive moves, man. Let's see.
Crazy thing, that flow was insanely high for it to move it that much.
Nah, not that insanely high. 40 million shares isn't that much. How's the swing trade list do today?
I forgot to look.
Oxbar got about 100,000 in volume, but very close to breaking. Looking decent there.
Getting some consolidation.
Mm-hmm. CLWT down 2%. I don't really like the look of that, but it did hold above the 50.
Well, this is what I was saying yesterday when we looked at this. You know that topping, you remember you asked me why I don't like that? Because it's hope going out of the system. That's what that bar means to me.
Yeah.
So it's like we're pushing up, and we couldn't even get a wick through there. That's hope killer right there.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, it is still holding up. There's still a possibility. But
it's got to hold the bottom of that white candle though. Whatever that is. Was it 360? 370?
370, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then XTLB, this one is down 3.64%. Being volatile in this little slow move up it's trying to make.
Mm-hmm.
But
I like it.
Yeah, I was going to say tomorrow possibly, if it holds above 450, that may be a good spot to look for an entry, maybe back up to 5.
Yeah. Well, this is what I was waiting on anyway, is for it to come down with a couple of red days, red bars for entry. Because now we see that it's pushed up. It tried to push up on that first red bar, that longer wick one, and it got a little skinny body, but it opened below that body. So it may actually even give a little bit more downwards movement for better prices.
And then socket having a little gap down here in after hours. This one being a wild boy. But It did just get that rejection. That's pretty much it. It bounced back up there to the $7 area, and now it's getting rejected off there. It'll probably pull back again tomorrow, probably down to the 50-day, the 650 area, and then maybe we could see it try to push back up. Now, WAFU still getting some interesting little buying volume in there. Like yesterday, didn't do much, but got some more buying volume. Or we closed above the downtrend there with a little indecision candle, so WAFU might rip tomorrow. If it gets any type of buying volume with some PR or something, we could see it rip, because also that 10-day is very close to crossing the 50.
With that indecision, it's got to break up over that candle tomorrow. Because I mean that indecision candle. What's the type of the indecision candle? Right there, 750.
Yeah.
So if it goes up there and double tops, we already know.
Yeah.
It's about to give a little burial. Yeah. But if it can break that 750 and hold above it, it might get going.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's some pretty strong resistance at 8 though. But yeah, 750 will be the first break to see if it's going to start moving. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on C. AATC up 4.24% today. It's almost 5%. And yeah, I like the look of that. Had a little sell off there after that 3 bars up. Then have another green bullish looking candle, and that did push over the top of those other red candle wicks.
And this look like it's getting that nice cup and handle you like.
Now, if it breaks out tomorrow, it'll just be a U-shaped break. But if it doesn't break out tomorrow, then yeah, it's going to start forming cup and handle. That could be a possibility too. Not really having any big losers on the list so far. A couple of these actually look really good.
And the thing is, they're only, each day, even if they're losing like maybe 2%. But the thing is, they're in consolidation. So they're going to lose a little bit in that little range.
Yeah.
But it's whatever. As long as they don't jump down like huge gap downs, we're good to go.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely going to be keeping my eyes on XTLB. OXBR, I called that one out, but I don't know what it really wants to do. It's kind of bottoming out a little bit, but I don't know. XTLB has the most of my attention.
So we'll be back tomorrow for some more live stream trading on both channels. You guys can catch us in the morning, 8 a.m. Central. Well, Hal will be there on time, but I'm never on time, so don't expect that. But yeah, we'll both be there. Gonna work out our war strategy, argue about a stock or two that we probably disagree on, and then get to work. So come join us in the live streams. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button. Help support the Framework Fortune community by becoming a part of it. Appreciate everybody joining us as always. Stay safe out there. Until next time.